Hi guys, I'm going to show you how you can map velocity to any parameter in FL Studio. To do this, we need to add a layer to our project and a fruity keyboard controller. Now for some reason, when you first add a keyboard controller, the default setting has a range of just 2 octaves. You want to set the range to the entire keyboard. So click here, drag to the left, click here, drag to the right. Now you've got the entire range of the keyboard selected. So, the layer needs to be set up so that the fruity keyboard controller and whatever instrument you want to be controlling are children of the layer. You do this by clicking here and selecting the channels you want to be the children. Press Shift if you want to select 2, so press Shift and click. And now, click on Set Children. You can confirm that you've got the setting right by clicking on Show Children. So I've got the kick and the keyboard controller selected. That means anything that is played by the layer is sent to both the kick channel and the fruity keyboard controller channel. So for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to use ZGame Editor. So I've opened it up, I've got an image selected, and I'm going to right click on the size, select Link to Controller, and from the internal controller list, I'm going to take Fruity Keyboard Controller Velocity as my source. Click on Accept. Now you're thinking, not much is happening, and that's because all of our velocities are at the same level. So let's go and mix and match these velocities here. And as you can see, the higher the velocity, the bigger the image becomes. So there we have it. We've mapped velocity to the size parameter, and you can see how it moves there. Now there's another alternative way of doing this, and that's to use the envelope controller instead of the keyboard controller. Now the envelope controller is a little bit more complicated, it has a lot more options, and when you first load it up, you'll have an envelope activated. We actually don't want to use the envelope right now, so I'm going to turn it off, and instead I'm going to choose velocity mapping here. Now if you just want a simple linear mapping, you set this point to 0, this point to the maximum, and now 0 velocity's got an output value of 0, and the maximum velocity is mapped to 1, which is the maximum in FL Studio. This does the same as the keyboard controller is doing. So again, I'm going to select size, but this time I need to choose Articulator 1. That's because I set this up on Articulator 1 here in the envelope controller. So let's choose Articulator 1. Let's close these windows so we can see what we are doing. And there you go. We've done exactly the same thing with the Fruity Envelope controller. Now, the Fruity Envelope controller allows you to do a lot more, and you can go in here and you could enable the envelope, and what you'll see is that there's a gradual transition in the sizes now, which is based on the attack here. This can be a useful feature at times if you want to use it. Another thing that you can relatively easily do in here is to go to the velocity mapping and choose the scale that you want to map the velocity. So you can define a range. Suddenly the variations are a lot less drastic because we're no longer mapping 0 to the minimum and full velocity to the maximum. This could be useful, for example, if you want to link velocity to the filter cutoff in a synth that doesn't have keyboard tracking. You don't want the filter completely open when velocity is full and no sound at all when the velocity is really low. Something like this is probably a much better mapping for you. So, I hope that's shown you what you wanted to know, and I'll see you next time. Bye.